Progressive lawmakers are pushing back against the possibility of the White House offering a far skimpier relief bill in order to appeal to Republican lawmakers. Joe Biden seems pretty hell-bent on passing something in a bipartisan way. And so his thinking is, well, maybe if I just pass some sort of skinny bill, something that would be appealing to Republicans, we can get it done. And then somewhere down the line, I'll pass something more robust through reconciliation. So this was reported by Politico, and they write that National Economic Council Director Brian Deese, and his mission is to figure out what a 60-vote package, meaning a bipartisan package for the Senate, looks like. Biden aides are clear-eyed that such a deal will be far short of his $1.9 trillion proposal. Now, a 60-vote deal would have to be skimpier for, by the way, state and local relief, which is something that Democrats claim they really care about, and less money for vaccine distribution, which seems ridiculous right now, unemployment insurance, and nutritional assistance, or SNAP. It would have far more targeted relief checks, meaning more means testing. We are told by administration sources that a bill of this sort might be in the $600 to $800 billion range. So it is certainly far skimpier than the 1.9 trillion that was previously proposed by Biden. Now, the goal here is to pass the skimpier version, so Biden can basically be able to say, look at that, bipartisanship, I succeeded. And then through reconciliation, he would pass a more robust bill, a second bill that would include all of the different elements that were cut out in the first bill. Progressives are not happy about this. I'll give you their response in just a minute, but Woz, I wanted to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I pretty much said most of this, but I will say that, I don't understand the strategy here. I don't know how the strategy can be to pass something much skimpier, try to get however many about a dozen Republicans or 10 Republicans on board to get the 60 filibuster-proof majority, supermajority in there. How that can be more effective than figuring out how to court the votes for reconciliation from those idiot Democrats in West Virginia and Arizona. I don't want to say their names because I'm just so disgusted by them. I don't know what the strategy is. Maybe Joe Biden is a master legislator, Anna, and he's gonna get this through and he's gonna come through for the American people and he's gonna deliver democratic waves of results going forward. And we're going into the new millennium. No, it's not gonna happen. They're screwing the pooch here. It's obvious.
Yeah, they are. And look, what's insane is that most of the discussions right now are focused on what can we do to appeal to Republican lawmakers who really have absolutely no interest in helping Joe Biden pass popular relief packages. They would much rather do exactly what they did under the Obama administration, which is obstruct and prevent the passage of legislation because they know that if Democrats fail, then it's much easier for them to win back majorities in the House and the Senate. And also, I really think that there's a part of this for Biden where he wants to prove himself, because there have been, it's not just us, even establishment corporate media types have kind of like snickered and laughed at the idea of unity among congressional Democrats and Republicans, especially considering that so many of the congressional Republicans were part of questioning and challenging Biden's electoral college vote. So I think, Biden does want to at least give the appearance that he is able to do things in a bipartisan way, but this is not a time to prove yourself on nonsense. Like no one cares. No one cares about how you can unite Congress. Everyone does care though about ensuring that you provide economic relief as soon as possible. So let's stop having these conversations about, oh, maybe we do a skimpier bill first and then a more robust bill later through reconciliation. Just get them what they need now. We need money for vaccine distribution now. That's not something that we should even have a discussion about cutting from the next relief bill. It just doesn't make any sense at all. And by the way, there's quite a bit that Joe Biden can do unilaterally. There's quite a bit the executive branch can do unilaterally without even having to deal with Congress. And I know Congress isn't gonna like it because they're lazy and they never get anything done. And then as soon as a president decides to do something through executive order, they cry about it, right? But David Dayen wrote a fantastic series. There's a series in the American Prospect that I highly recommend you guys read. And it talks about all of the different things that Biden can do legally, constitutionally, in order to provide relief to Americans right away. And I want to give you a little taste of that from an interview that David Dayen had on the Majority Report. Take a look.
What could he do in the context of healthcare at this point?
Well, there are a few things. Obviously, reversing some of the Trump administration policies on junk insurance, some of the ways that he used to get really poor insurance back into the healthcare system. That would be sort of the bare minimum. There is, and I haven't fully researched this, but I believe there is a way to, through the emergency regulations, to essentially give people who are uninsured and have coronavirus or in hard-hit areas with the coronavirus, to give them Medicare. And the one precedent for this is the city of Libby, Montana, which had a toxic asbestos situation because there was a plant there that was spewing this into the air. And all residents of Libby, Montana are on Medicare for life. And it's because of this emergency production that you can do to say that because through no fault of their own, they have been sickened, they're going to have these high healthcare costs. We as a country are going to, because of this natural disaster, we're going to pick them up and we're going to give them Medicare.
So that's one example. And what he said there is true. The executive branch can unilaterally decide in this emergency situation to provide Medicare for people who lost their health insurance, for instance, their employer-based health insurance as a result of getting laid off. One other thing that Biden could do, not just Biden, the education secretary can unilaterally do, is cancel all federal student loan debt, all of it. It's legal to do that unilaterally without Congress's approval. Now, again, Congress isn't gonna like it. Republicans, of course, are gonna cry as they did with Obama doing things through executive orders. But let's just remember how heavy-handed Trump was with executive orders when he was in charge.
Yeah, I just love, I wanna take a positive view because I am somebody who was very bearish on Joe Biden from the start of his candidacy, throughout the primary, through the campaign, after he won the primary, and now I remain bearish. But maybe he's like, look, I campaigned on being the guy that would be able to come to Washington and wave my magic wand of bipartisanship over everybody, even though it's been about 30 years of sectarian politics. I've campaigned on this, so I'm gonna try. And maybe he's gonna try, and when he fails, he's gonna say, all right, guys, he can come out and credibly say he gave it the old college try, and now he's gonna take the necessary steps to do things by themselves, period. How they get some of the more conservative Democrats in the caucus to play ball, I don't know. I don't know that these are traditional politicians in the sense that they can be bought and paid by just straight up pork for their districts, right? Like a normal politician would be like, I'll sell you my vote, but you need to deliver X, Y, and Z to West Virginia. You need to deliver X, Y, and Z to Arizona. That's what normal traditional politicians used to do. I don't know that these guys these days are self-interested in that way, right? So we'll see if that works. But I would love for Joe Biden to come out and on the first day, instead of asking for permission, ask for forgiveness. Just do it. Just go out and do what you want, how you want, because you were elected to do so.
I think the biggest problem, and this disconnect doesn't get discussed enough, is that Joe Biden and Democrats keep debating this issue as if the economic relief is not popular among Republican voters. Remember, Republican politicians and Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are not representing the best interests of their constituents. They're afraid of upsetting their donors. There are other reasons. But if you look at what their actual constituents want, especially in West Virginia, by the way, which was already dealing with extreme poverty before the pandemic, they certainly do want economic relief. When it comes to the $2,000 stimulus checks, remember when Manchin had signaled that he was against that amount, there were all sorts of efforts, radio ads calling him out, and he started to kind of backtrack a little bit because he realized, oh wait, people are actually paying attention, and my own constituents absolutely do want this kind of relief. So this is my way of saying, and buttressing your point, that if Democrats want to hold Manchin's feet to the fire, they certainly can do that. They know they can do that because what they're proposing is popular. Who cares what Republican lawmakers want? What they want, which is basically more austerity, no relief, is incredibly unpopular. So run on that. Go out there and make sure that their constituents know about it and that their constituents harass the hell out of them about it. That's how you play hardball.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.